Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live in. There was a time that Ben Simmons was considered one of the best young talents in the game. Three-time All-Star, two-time first-team All-Defensive, made a third-team All-NBA. All was well. He still had plenty of years to further his legacy. The problem is now he's almost a forgotten player in the NBA, and he has been out since November 6th with back injury. November 6th is still more recent than the Detroit Pistons won a game, but this is via ESPN. Simmons says back improving, but too early to target Nets return by Tim Bontemps. So Brooklyn Nets forward Ben Simmons admitted Friday the lower back nerve impingement that sidelined him for nearly 2 months has him as frustrated as he's ever been. It's probably one of the most frustrating points in my career just because I want to be out there to help my team win and compete. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that's a part of sports. Not every game's promised. Injuries happen. Unfortunately, it happens. So for me, it's just focusing on what I can do now and doing what I can to get back on the floor and contribute. So mentions he missed 21 straight games. Ned said earlier this week Simmons has further increased his individual work and his progress would be updated again in 2 weeks, meaning he'll be out until at least early January. As specifically what he's been doing, Simmons said, I just started on court stuff, moving around, get some shots up, just starting from the bottom and work my way up. I'm sure there's people who have jokes about him getting shots up because that's something he's rarely done even when he's on the court. We take a look at his numbers. So 6 games this season, you see only 6 shot attempts per game. And the previous season, 42 games, he averaged 5.6 shot attempts. You could see in his best seasons with the Sixers, averaging 5 free throw attempts a game. This season didn't even average 1. We know he doesn't really seem to want to get to the free throw line, which has been a bugaboo, even more so later in his career. You see, still averaged 10.8 points, 6.7 assists, but again, 6.5 points. A guy who twice averaged almost 17 points per game and was shooting 12 times per game, so half his shot attempts and essentially the same amount of minutes. You see he missed that whole 2021-22 season with that back injury. Once the Nets traded for him in the James Harden deal, they kept saying, people were speculating when he'd be back, and just turns out he never came back that season. It was maybe a week and a half ago where Stephen A. went off on Ben Simmons, not even claiming that he's, faking an injury or anything like that. He's just said, if it wasn't an injury, he'd probably find another reason to not be on the court. And I can't necessarily disagree with that. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit if that 2 weeks passes. They say it's another 2 weeks, so and on, and maybe he does come back at some point and then gets shut down again. But he's only 27 years old. He will turn 28 on July 20th. So in the off season, he should be in the prime of his career. Do you think Ben Simmons, I don't think he'll ever get back to an all-star level player, but can the Nets rely on him in the least bit? Just has not gone well in his Nets tenure at all. This is a guy who signed a 5-year, $177 million plus deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. He still has 1 year remaining on that deal after this season. He's getting paid almost $37.9 million this season and about $40.3 million next season. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.